So, juror number 785, also referred to widely as the Egg Lady Juror, because when she was removed from the Murdaugh jury prior to the jury going to deliberation and closing arguments, she asked if she could go back to the jury room and get her eggs, which all of us completely understand, because yes, if somebody brings you a dozen organic eggs, you are going to take them with you when you go home. The juror is trying to get the record of the hearing in camera that resulted in her removal unsealed. And what we learn from the filings and from the ruling of the court is that the juror and her lawyer, Joe McCullough, have access to those records, but the access came with a restriction. And the restriction was that this sealed record is allowed to be reviewed by the juror and her lawyer, but cannot be further disseminated. And since this juror has also written a book, as the chat so helpfully let me know, because Chat is Bay and the best research attorneys in the world, her book, Enough is Enough, has been published. Does she want this for public dissemination? Yes. In the defense motion requesting a rehearing on the court's denial of the unsealing of the record, it said she would like to rebut or refute the things that the media and bloggers are saying about her removal. I don't know if in December of 2024 anybody's still talking about it, but now we are because of the court filings. What the court illuminated in their ruling is, one, they were disinclined to acquiesce to the request to change their mind, and they said, no, we're not unsealing this record. It's not before us. And two, if you did not like the restrictions the court placed on you when they allowed you access to the record and said it just can't be disseminated, then you need to appeal that order. But that order came down in November 2023. And you know what they didn't do? Appeal it. Not until July of 2024, when this juror and her lawyer finally asked the court to allow that to not just be unsealed so they could access it, but to allow it to be publicly unsealed so anyone can access that transcript or record, or so they can disseminate it. So the Supreme Court of South Carolina was like, no, you can't intervene. No, we're not unsealing it. No, we don't even have this record. And go back and wait for the circuit court to rule on it. And the circuit court might just well find it's untimely because they put a restriction on it and that restriction was not appealed. So will we see a transcript of what happened? Maybe. Am I now very curious as to what purpose this is all going to be used for? Yes. Did the Egg Lady Juror reference Becky Hill, the former clerk of court's book? Yes. Did the Egg Lady Juror say that Becky Hill wrote about that sealed in-camera hearing in her book? Yeah, she said that in a filing. So I know what I'm going to be doing in December. I'm going to be taking a look to see what is exactly said in that book, and then I'm going to cover it on an episode of Quick Bits, because now I just need to know. I now want to figure out why this juror is so mad about this record still being sealed, because this has nothing to do with anything, unless it has to do with a new book deal. So I guess we'll see when this is decided on at some point in the future by the circuit court. For deep dives into the stories that I covered here, you can find them on my YouTube channel at The Emily D. Baker and The Emily Show podcast. I stream every Tuesday and Thursday. The podcast goes live on Wednesdays. And if you want to stay in the loop with everything I'm doing, receive the fastest notifications out there, and get more Law Nerd community, join me at lawnerdapp.com, our free app for iOS and Android.